Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel where we explore the rich tapestry of stories from around the world. Today, we're traveling to the vibrant lands of Cameroon in West Africa to uncover a tale filled with wit, wisdom, and a little bit of mischief. It's the story of a clever chief, a cunning trickster, and a lesson that's as relevant today as it was centuries ago. So, get comfortable and let's dive into the tale of the chief who was no fool. In a bustling village, nestled among rolling hills and lush forests, there lived a chief renowned for his wisdom and fairness. His name was Chief Echo, and his reputation for sound judgment was known far and wide. People from all corners of the land would travel to seek his counsel, knowing he could untangle the most complicated of disputes. However, in a nearby village lived a man named Kulu. Now, Kulu was famous for something entirely different. He was a trickster, a smooth talker whose cleverness was matched only by his greed. Kulu believed he was the smartest man alive and took great pleasure in outwitting others, often for his own personal gain. He had tricked merchants, fooled farmers, and even conned neighboring chiefs. But there was one man he had never dared to challenge, Chief Echo. One day, filled with an arrogant sense of invincibility, Kulu decided it was time. He boasted to his friends, "I have outsmarted every man I have ever met. It is time to prove I am cleverer than even the great Chief Echo. I will go to his village and trick him so thoroughly that everyone will speak of my name, not his, for generations to come." His friends warned him, "Kulu, be careful. Chief Echo is not like the others. His mind is as sharp as a hunter's spear." But Kulu just laughed. "We shall see," he said, and with a confident swagger, he set off for Chief Echo's village. When Kulu arrived, he presented himself at the chief's court with an air of great importance. He bowed deeply and said, "Oh, great Chief Echo, your wisdom is legendary. I have come with a humble proposition. I came of wits to entertain you and your court." Chief Echo, who had heard tales of Kulu's exploits, looked at him with a knowing yet patient gaze. "Speak, Kulu, what is this game you propose?" Kulu smiled, his eyes gleaming with cunning. "It is a simple game of truth. Great chief, I will make 3 statements. If you can prove that even one of them is a lie, you may have my finest goat, the best in my herd. But if you cannot prove any of them false, then you must give me a cow from your royal herd." The villagers and elders gathered in the court murmured among themselves. This was a bold challenge. Kulu was known for his twisted logic and clever wordplay. A goat was a fine prize, but a royal cow was a significant loss, not just in value, but in prestige. Chief Echo, however, remained calm. He stroked his chin thoughtfully and then nodded. "I accept your challenge, Kulu. Let the game begin. Let us hear your 3 statements." Kulu's smile widened. He had prepared his statements carefully, crafting them to be impossible to disprove. He cleared his throat and began, "My first statement is this," he announced loudly for all to hear. "I am in a place where I should not be." A hush fell over the court. The elders looked at each other, puzzled. How could the chief prove this false? Kulu was standing right there in the chief's court. He was an outsider, a known trickster. By all accounts, he probably should have been there, welcome to challenge their chief. But at the same time, Chief Echo had just given him permission to be there by accepting the challenge. The statement was a paradox. If the chief said, "No, You are welcome here. Kulu could argue that his true mischievous intentions meant he shouldn't be. If the chief agreed, yes, you shouldn't be here, then Kulu's statement would be true. There was no way to prove it was a lie. Chief Echo simply listened, his expression unreadable. And your second statement? He asked, Kulu, growing even more confident, puffed out his chest. My second statement is, I have come here for a reason you do not like. Again, the crowd was stumped. Everyone knew Kulu had come to trick their chief and win his cow. No one, least of all the chief, could possibly asterisk that reason. So the statement was obviously true. How could Chief Echo possibly prove it was a lie? To deny it would be to claim he enjoyed being tricked, which would be absurd. To agree with it would be to admit Kulu's statement was true. The trap was clever. Chief Echo remained silent for a moment longer, his calm demeanor starting to unnerve Kulu just a little. Very well, the chief said finally. And your third and final statement. This was Kulu's masterstroke. He leaned in, his voice dripping with false sincerity. And my third statement, O wise chief, is this. You are going to give me one of your cows. The court gasped. This was the most brilliant trap of all. If Chief Echo said, that is a lie, I will not give you a cow, he would be fulfilling the conditions of the bet. Kulu's third statement would be proven false, and Kulu would have to give the chief his goat. But wait, the bet was that Kulu would win the cow if none of his statements could be proven false. But if Chief Echo said, that is true, I will give you the cow, then he would be admitting Kulu had won, and he would have to hand over the animal. It was a perfect, inescapable, logical loop. Kulu had him cornered. He folded his arms and stood back, a smug look on his face, waiting for his prize. The court was in turmoil. The elders whispered frantically, He has done it. He has trapped our chief. There is no way out. What will the chief do? But Chief Echo did not look trapped. In fact, a slow smile began to spread across his face. He looked at the anxious faces of his people, then at the supremely confident Kulu. He let the silence hang in the air for a dramatic moment before he finally spoke. His voice was clear and steady, filled with the very wisdom he was known for. He looked directly at Kulu and said, Kulu, you are a very clever man. Your words are like a tangled net, designed to catch the unwary. He paused, then continued. Your first statement was that you are in a place where you should not be. And your second, that you have come for a reason I do not like. He nodded slowly. You are quite right. A man who comes to my court with trickery and deceit in his heart should not be here, and I certainly do not like his reason for coming. Therefore, your first two statements are undeniably true. Kulu's grin became even wider. The Chi was admitting it. The cow was practically his. However, Chief Echo said, his voice firming, your third statement was that I am going to give you one of my cows. He looked Kulu straight in the eye. Now, if I were to give you the cow, that would make your third statement true. And if all three of your statements are true, then according to our agreement, I must give you the cow. He let that sink in. But if I do not give you the cow, he went on, then your third statement becomes a lie. And according to our agreement, if I can prove even one of your statements is a lie, then you lose the bet, and you must give me your finest goat." Suddenly, Kulu's confident smile vanished. His mind raced, trying to find a flaw in the chief's reasoning, but he couldn't. He was caught in his own trap. Chief Echo had turned his perfect paradox back on him. Chief Echo stood up from his throne. "So, you see, Kulu, we have a problem. If I give you the cow, I am right to do so according to the rules. If I do not give you the cow, I am also right to do so according to the rules. You have created a situation where I cannot be wrong." He walked towards Kulu, who was now sweating and looking around nervously. "You came here to prove your cleverness," the chief said, his voice now gentle but firm, "and you have succeeded. You are very clever. But cleverness without wisdom is like a ship without a rudder. It can create impressive waves, but it ultimately goes nowhere." He stopped in front of the trickster. "I will not take your goat, Kulu, and I will not give you my cow. The bet is void, for you have created a puzzle with no solution. But take this lesson with you instead. True intelligence is not about trapping others with words. It is about finding the truth, promoting fairness, and building up your community, not just yourself." He then turned to his court and declared, "Let this be a lesson to all. Be wary of those who play games with the truth, for the truth..." It is the foundation upon which we build our lives and our village. Kulu stood there, utterly defeated. For the first time in his life, he had been completely and thoroughly out. But strangely, he did not feel anger. He felt a sense of awe. He bowed his head, this time with genuine respect. "Thank you, Chief Echo," he mumbled. "You truly are the wisest of all." Without another word, Kulu turned and left the village, a much humbler and perhaps a little wiser man. He never bothered Chief Echo again. And the story of how the wise chief outsmarted the master trickster was told for many years. A powerful reminder that while cleverness can win you a goat, wisdom will protect your entire herd. And that's the story of the chief who was no fool. It's a wonderful example of how clear thinking and integrity can overcome even the most complex deceptions. What do you guys think? Have you ever heard a similar story? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading your thoughts. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this journey into Cameroonian folklore, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more stories from around the world. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning. Bye for now.